What's going on, everyone? It's noon here, Central Standard Time. Before I get ready to take my grandson a little later to the dojo, figured I'd work on this a little bit more. Now, again, I posted something about it earlier. I originally, not the head here, but originally I started painting these. Oh God, 5.5 years ago, maybe 5 years ago, 4 or 5 years, somewhere around there. Anyway, I forget how long it's been. Let me bring this down just a little lower. But this was the one I did years ago, and I'm not happy with it. I'm going to go in and fix this. All this. There's a stone here that I need to put on there. So this one I had primed it, and I had put a basic skin tone down, but nothing else was done. So I've been working on the head. You can see the difference in the two heads. And I'm going to go back and redo all of that. So I'm going to redo this one. So what I'm doing now is I laid down the basic skin tone, and I'm going in with ink. I'm using Liquitex. This is a raw umber. I have others. I have these. So I'll probably end up going in. Let me find the magenta. Let me get this out. I need to get this out. I haven't used these. I've had them for a while. And I haven't taken them out. So this is a, let's see. Let me get my damn glasses on. Give me a second here where I can go here and see if there's, let me go here and mute that. Okay. I just wanted to see if there's any. Check my microphone. Everything's cool there. All right, let me make sure I take these captions off because I hate those. All right, back to this. Now, I'll probably end up using this one here is muted pink. I'll make a wash, go in there. This one's a violet, muted violet. I'll probably use that. Where is it? That's a turquoise. I don't know. We'll see. This muted green is what I'm looking at. This one's here, muted gray. So I'll probably use that. And of course, this is a great ink to use, guys. Titanium white. Will I use it on this? Nah, I don't think so. But we'll see. We'll see. So let me get this off to the side. What I'm doing, let me get this off so it doesn't fall off. What I'm doing is I'm adding a little depth, as you can see in here, and I'm using, again, this here. It's not a precise art, but let me get my brushes here. So I'll take a little bit on a brush, just a very little, take most of it off. And then wherever I want a shadow, I'm going to lay it in there and just work it in. Now there's 1,000 ways to do this, guys. This is the way I do it, The brush was wet, so I'll take it there, and then I'll just start to move it around, as you can see. This has been sealed with Krylon matte. I tend to use a lot of that. It's a good sealer. It's a good matte. It's not dull coat, but it's durable. Seals real nice. Now I'll get a little water, wet the tip of that. Make sure I got most of the water off, and just blend. That's how I use inks when I'm using it on a brush. Same thing with it when I airbrush it. I'll go in and mute it down with a brush if it's too, dark. Right there, just like that. God damn, it looks dark, don't it? I mean, that light is hot, man. So, take a little bit more water. Just move it around a little bit, blend it in. Now the lights are real bright, so the camera's not really picking up the transition because of the overhead light here. There's one here, and then I got one here, and they're all beaming down on it. So it's pretty bright at the moment. Now I just move that around a little bit. See, the spots that it was heavy, and then what's left on the brush from over here, I'll come over here and just move it around a little bit here and there. Come back in here. I want that a little darker. So I'll grab a little bit there and just run that in here like so. Again, this is just straight Liquitex ink. I didn't cut it with anything. It's right out of the bottle. You can cut it and make a wash out of it. That's basically what I'm doing. Just using it as a wash. Again, this brush is wet. There's a little water on it, not much. I'll move it around. While it's still wet, then I'll go in with a really dry brush and just, nothing on the brush itself, but just to go in and work this around. And then, where is it? It's I forget what this is. It's an angled shader. I'll just come in and do that. Just smooth it out. Hey, Stan. Thanks. Yeah, you know what, Stan? I went back. Like I said, I showed this one, and you can see this one I'm not happy with, so I'm going to go back and redo it. But this one, I like the lighter flesh on it, and it's got more of a fleshy tone. And I'm in no way done with it. I'm going to go in with different colors, like a real a wash of ink, but a red magenta, and just tone it down almost where you barely see it. And then I'll add that on there just to give it on certain spots to give them a little rosiness. But yeah, that's what I'm working on them now. So, and I'm just, like I said, I'm just adding ink. There's a little ink left on here. I don't want a lot of it. So I'll make sure that I get most of it off. And then come in like here. And then I'll transition all that in. Like right up underneath here. It needs to be a little bit darker. Right there. Of course, his arm, like it right in here by the bicep. I'm not worried about that right now. I just want to get the main body, and then I'll start working on the extremities. Like I said, that's just straight ink, guys. There's the I have again. I'll reiterate. This has been coated. It's been shot with a clear of Krylon matte. So it's got a matte coat. It's got 2 coats of clear on it. So I'm able to move everything around. It's not shiny. I don't want it shiny because I want to be able to see what I'm doing. And if I put like an aqua gloss or something, it's a little bit too shiny. I'll just right here transition that a little bit. See? And then you come over here, take most of that water off. You can use alcohol too. Right now, the water's good. If it gets once it dries, sometimes you can't get it off. You got to use isopropyl, to move it around. But as long as it's still wet and it hasn't dried yet, you can use the. So that's how he's coming along. Damn lights are bright here, man. Let me see if I can move this just a little bit and bring it down so you guys can see it. See, there's the. Where's it at? Damn it! Yeah, it's not going to do it. Yeah, it's too bright. But yeah, that's base. I need to figure out, get my game going a little better here. With the. Hey, John. So, the lights are not, believe it or not, they're not bright enough, but because they're feeding off of this and this is light, I think I'm going to get one of those ring lights so I can, control the temperature of the light. But, yeah, let me get back to this guy. All right. A little water on that. And I'll come in here and just move that around a little bit. See, this is dried up now. I'm going to have to, if I need to do any more corrections on this, it's going to have to be with isopropyl because it's starting to dry. It's dried now. Now here I can still move it around. It's not 100% dry. And I can blend it into the rest of his skin. Just like that. Now let me try. I'll try something. It might fuck it all up, but we shall see. I want a muted pink. Yeah, I saw. You know what, Stan? I saw his 2 videos, and he's been moving, man. Okay, we put a couple of drops in there. Should I use water? Yeah. Well, you know what? Let me use some ISO here to cut this. Okay, and then I'll see where it goes from there. Nah, it's still too. Add some water to that. There we go. There we go. A little bit more. A little bit more. That's what I'm looking for. A little bit more. Yeah. And then I'll take that. Let's try it here. And just over the whole thing. Just like that. You don't need a lot. You just want a hint of that rosiness peeking through. I'll take most of it off. When it looks a little too red, you just knock it down. Just take off. Don't let it pull up. Just like that. I just want that subtle hint of like red in there. See that? That's that subtle hint in there that just, you know. There we go. That's gonna look good. I'll take a picture of it and show you because it's I think that was a good idea. Was to add that in there. Because now it makes the whole thing pop. Now what I'll do is I'm gonna do this the arm, and then I'm gonna go in, hit it with a blow dryer, and take a good look at it. Because it's wet right now, so of course it looks like what I want it to look like. But once you dry it, that'll tell you exactly where you're at. And again, I'm not trying to get too much of that red. I just want a subtle hint of it on that skin tone. Now the body's been airbrushed, but of course you see me using this. This is I can do it with an airbrush, but I think with a regular brush, if you want to add something like this on there, I think this is probably the best thing to do. You're able to control it. You spray it with an airbrush, it looks nice. But see what I'm doing, I'm able to move it around versus with an airbrush. So, and that's usually what I do. I'm trying to get better with the brushes, guys. Not that I have anything against airbrushing. Everybody knows I love the airbrush. It's just, this is a skill that I lacked, or I neglected, let me put it that way. So go back over this arm and just subtly add that on there. Come over here, same thing. Make sure I don't miss any spots. Now again, I'm going to have a darker tone in here. You know, I'm just jumping ahead for video sake. What's that? Silence called. That means it's junk. I'll come across his belly here. Yeah, that's giving me the look I want. It's just got a subtle hint of a flesh, real flesh tone. A subtle hint of it. It's like so. Now I'm going to have to go back in with the browns that I was using, because as you can see, because this has got isopropyl alcohol, it's pulling that shade off, and that's okay, because once this is on, I'll hit it with a clear coat again once it's dry, and then I'll go back in and work on those shadows again. So I'll take this one, which is a little drier, and now there's a right there. Just pull that. I'll leave that. Then that's pretty good because those are crevices. So what I'm doing is I'm just smoothing that out in the rough spots. Just moving it around. And there you go. I don't know if you can really tell, but let's see. Yeah, I think that'll work. Just want to move that around just a little bit. Yeah, I think that'll work. What I'm gonna do though is I'm gonna try something here. Put a little bit there. I'm gonna try something to see if it works. I might fuck it all up. I might not. But if I do, You guys are seeing it right here with me. Pull most of that off and just right across that shoulder. Same thing with this one. Again, all it is ink, and I'm slapping it on. Very thin, though. I'll take a dry one here and just start to move it. You see I'm pulling it off, get a little water. There we go. Where it's too dark, take it off. When you got too much of it, you just want a subtle look to it. Like here, there's too much on that bicep, so I'll just move. It's a wet brush with just plain water. This was straight ink. I put it in that. So I'm able to move it around with this. A little bit more, with that a little bit more. And just right here, pull that off. Just smooth it. Just like that. Get it nice and wet. Where's my filbert? What the hell did I do with it? Oh shit, I'll use this one. I got brushes all over the place here and I can't remember what I did with what. A little bit more water. And just move that right like that. Yeah, see, it gives me that tone. There's tones in there now. There we go. Just like so. Hey, Dominic. All right, now we'll take this. We'll go back to the 40,000 brushes I got laying around here. Go back to my ink wash. And then right here on his belly. Right here. Let's get that in there. Right here on the side, right here. A little bit more down there, just a little bit here. Give that a second to set up. And while that's doing that, I'll come over here. Get that arm. You got to make sure you move around, man, because if you don't, it'll pool up and it'll dry, and then you're going to have a hell of a time getting it off. So you see me moving it around. This is just straight ice ink with a couple of drops of ISO in there, and the rest is water. There's no matte medium in there. There's none of that. No, it's just straight water. I should have put a matte medium in there. It would have helped. But, you know, should have, could have, would have. You know, you always think about that shit afterwards. See what that ink is doing is it's staining it, and it's giving me that look I'm after. All right, now what I'll do is I'll go in and this is going to be a couple of coats of it. It's not going to be something that's immediately, finished. Just work at it, guys. Just gently. See where I'm pulling it off where it pulled up is what I'm doing. And then on the high spots, I'll take it off. Like so. Right in here, I don't want it. I'll just move it around. His hand. I'll get that in a minute. But you see that? You see he's got that little glow to him now? And that's what I was after. It's a little bit higher on certain parts here where the muscles are popped up. It'll be on his belly, this, here. But if you look, you're able to see the, like right, especially here in the crevices. So then again, it's this Liquitex ink. This is muted pink, rose feature. So this is going to give me that rosiness that I'm after. I'm going to make another wash here, but not as muted as that. Before I do that, where's my matte medium? I've got some shit, I don't know where it's at. Let's try some glazing medium. Let's see if that works in there. That's a glazing medium. Let's try that. Let's add 1, 2, 3. 3 drops of glazing medium in there. A little bit of water. Take most of it off that brush. Stan says, I think you should put your mark on a classic monster kit like the old Aurora kit, like the Phantom of the Opera. I would love to see what you would do with an old classic. You know what? That's a good idea. I've never thought of it, but you know what? Yeah. I mean, I'll go online today and see if I can find one, Stan. Thank you, man. That's a good idea. I've never done one of those. I think I shied away from them, Stan, because I hear about all the problems people have with them. All right, let's go in here. We'll give them a little bit of more of a rosiness right in here. I like the way that was looking. Come down. There we go. Same thing here. Just in those spots. I'll come in with a dry brush. There's nothing on it. And just pull it. Same thing here. Just move that around a little bit. You see that? Now he's got that fleshy tone to him. And I'll add another darker in there. I'll go in there with something darker. All I'm doing right now is I'm trying to, like here on his butt cheek. Let's go in here. Right across here. In here. That's that right there. I'm going to tell you what, guys. I'm really digging this ink. Now, I mixed it, and this is the first time I've mixed it in an airbrush like this. But this acrylic ink is Liquitex Muted Pink. What's the number on it? I bought it on Amazon in in a pack. But that right there, when you put that one and that one, when you put it over like a bone color or a skin tone, I know you can't see it, guys, the fucking lights, but that's really I'm really digging that. I think that's going to be something that's in the rotation. Now you see what I'm doing is I'm just pulling before it dries. There's nothing on this, and I'll just feather it, and now I got that real nice skin tone there. See that? I really like this. Again, there'll be some darker colors in here, and I'll probably end up going over it again with that red. But I'm really liking the way that looks. I really do like that. Pull a little bit more here, take most of it off, and let me go right in here, right in his belly, right there, right about here. Just like so. And then pull it. I'm going to get a little bit of that red on his panza. There we go. And then I'll take this brush here. Again, there's nothing on it. And just feather it right over the highlight. Just like that. What's the difference of using ink? Well, you can use paint to do this. I use paint. I use a lot of inks. Anybody that knows me, they know I use a ton of inks. John, for me, I get the look. Look, this. I'm trying to get a flesh tone here. I have flesh tone paints. I can mix it, but I want you with the difference with at least for me. Now, maybe I'm talking nonsense and maybe I'm talking out of my ass, but if I lay down, say, this color right here, basic skin tone, you do something, a wash of this over this, especially on a female figure, you get that beautiful glowing, if it's a Caucasian skin. You can do it with a darker skin. The ink, to me, helps bring out the color. It gives it a little depth that regular paint doesn't, at least for me. Now, again, I might be talking shit, and if anybody's got a different view, please, by all means. But for me, that's the way it works. I like the way it looks because once this dries and you put a clear on it, and if you transitioned it right, and once you put a dull coat or a satin coat, whatever you're going to use on there, the skin tone is going to be the star of this, hopefully. So once he's got his head on there, you see that? Because that's so dark, I don't want to go dark on the skin. I want to be able to, when you look at this, bam, and you can see the difference. This one here versus this one here. Now, this one I did, again, about 5.5, 6 years ago. That's airbrushed. All this is airbrushed. Except, that was airbrushed and I go in with a paintbrush. But you can see the difference in the skin tones right away. This one's going to get redone. I'm going to go over the skin tones on this one. I'm going to keep them darker than this one, because they're opposing each other. I don't want them the same. But I'm going to have to do something with this one to bring it up to par with this one. So for me, the inks, I don't know. They're just, try it, John. That's all I got. That's all I can tell you. Try it. The inks are very, they work really good. I know I'm talking shit, I'm or as the brothers would say, I'm waffling. So you see here now, I'm going to add it on his leg. Now it's going on real heavy, you see, but like I said, I'll tone that all down. And I want to make sure that I move all the way around his leg. I don't want to miss any spots. Because what ends up happening is you'll end up with some ink pulling up where you don't want it pulling up. There we go. I'll hit that real quick with a blow dryer. I don't want it 100% dry. I just want it enough where I can come in and do this. Now I'll blend it in. Very lightly. Hit it with a blow dryer. Let's take a look at it. There's the light. Now I'll go in and do some more work on it. It's not done. See, like here, I had a little bit blending in, so I'll take a little water and I'll just right there. You can't do that with paint, John. What I just did. Right there. I just want that highlight. It's got that rosiness to it, but I want that highlight there. There we go. Right here is a little highlight, Now I'll come in with the dry brush that doesn't have anything on it. And just move it around. Yeah. Let me get to that arm there. Start moving that around. It started to dry and I forgot about it. But it gave me an interesting effect there, especially around the vein. Let's go right up underneath here. These things are a pain in the ass to paint, especially because they got these the way these arms are. See, now I'll move that up. There's just enough ink pooled up right there for me to do that. Whatever's left on this brush, I'll come in and just gently tap it over here, move it around. Just like that. Yeah, it's fun to do. I love using inks. So, all right, guys. I've been on for about 30 minutes. I'm going to call this one done. I hope you enjoyed that. Guys, try it. I'm going to be using a variety of different inks. This is really good for skin tones, guys. It's the muted pink. It's a rose feature. It's great if you're using something like this and you can lay it on top of it, very thin like I'm doing here or right there. So try it. You guys have a go, man. It's Gilbert, Red Dragon Model Work, saying peace. Enjoy the rest of your week. Be kind to each other, man. The world's pretty fucked up right now, so be kind to each other, you know. If you don't have a kind word to say, keep your mouth shut. Be good to your children. Leave the drama to the goddamn queens. Paint a fucking model, guys. Peace.